Hey guys, it's Sophie. So I have a rant video today. I wasn't planning on filming this, I hadn't really thought about this before today, but I have to talk to you guys about it. So as some of you probably know, I'm trying to get into my non-fiction, just trying to sort of broaden what I'm reading and also gain a sort of better understanding of the world as a whole. I feel as though my education was quite narrow, quite sort of westernised and quite white, and I want to try and change that, to try and learn things that are different to me and things that are sort of new. So today I decided to go to Waterstones. It's kind of a like Sunday habit for me, is to go out and have a coffee and like a sweet thing in a cafe and then go book shopping, and normally get 2 or 3 books a week. So today I headed up to the non-fiction section in Waterstones and sort of started to have a look around and picked up a few books that were of interest to me. But I did have in the back of my mind the fact that I'm trying at the minute to push back on my female authors, and I'm trying to equalise my balance. So as part of my 2016 goals, I'm trying to get that 50-50 balance, the same as I did in 2015. So just with that in mind, I was thinking, okay, well, you know, look for interesting subjects, but if you can, try and choose female authors, just to try and get that balance back. And it's just when I'm buying books, I'm trying to make myself a bit more conscious of my skews, so not buying so many white male American authors basically, which is what I tend towards. So I start browsing and start looking around and I'm picking things up and saying, well, that seems interesting. And it's a white male American author. And again and again and again. And I suddenly say to myself, okay, well, you know, look for the female names on the books and have a look at some of those. Maybe they're just slightly different topics, maybe they're in a different section, I even thought, because there were so few. And I start looking around and there is such a divide in the non-fiction section. Near everything that's written to sort of an academic standard or even to a pop science standard is male authors. I'm not kidding, like, go to your local bookshop, have a look at your non-fiction section. The female non-fiction section is consisting of memoirs, food books, tidying a house and how to get a man. And it just completely and utterly blew me away. I hadn't been expecting that. The rest of the sort of bookshops has a pretty good mix of male and female authors as you go along, and of different backgrounds and ideas, and this split just completely threw me. Actually quite upset me, and I just sort of thought, well, you know, is it that women aren't writing non-fiction, or that it's not being taken as seriously as their male contemporaries? And why is the non-fiction that we're getting from females of such a traditionally sort of feminine variety? Why should it be like the art of tidiness or like the perfect household? Why? That seems absolutely ridiculous. I know that we have skews in the scientific community. I know that. I've been a part of that community. I was one of 6 girls in a year of 103 at my university. I understand that probably the academics who are working within the scientific fields have a male bias. I get that, and I know to an extent that I should expect to see that reflected in the books that are published. That's about changing the culture, that's not about the writers. But it was everything. It wasn't just science, it was history, politics, religion. It just made me really, really cross. It wasn't something I expected to see, and it was something that really did sort of take me back a little bit, to be honest. Basically, this is just sort of questions for you guys out here. Have you found the same thing? Have you noticed the same thing? Do you have this host of female non-fiction writers that the bookshops aren't showing us? It just got me really cross, and I ended up going upstairs and going to the sort of small section where they have some feminist texts and picking up some of those instead, because I was just cross. And it's not to say, not at all, that the books that the male authors have written are not fabulous and that they don't contain wonderful information and that they aren't of, you know, great value to us. I'm not saying that at all. I don't want to seem as though I'm putting down the male authors. I'm not. I just don't understand why there's such a skew. I don't understand why we can't share in sort of the joy of non-fiction, the joy of learning equally through the genders. I think every now and again I just stumble across things that take me back, and I feel like most of my life I live in a pretty equal society. I keep myself in circles where that's true, and I try and build that in the people I'm around and the people I associate with. And sometimes I see this other side and it just feels like I'm being thrown into the past, and it just feels really unfair. So tell me about your wonderful female non-fiction writers. Tell me about bookshops where it's split equally down the genders. Just give me some faith back. And in the meantime, I'm going to read some books on feminism to brighten my world up a little bit. Thank you for your time. I hope that you're having a good day. I hope that you haven't had anything annoy you as much as this has annoyed me. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.